Hello, City fans. Well, something that maybe a lot of us didn't expect to read today. Some of you may have done. I certainly didn't. I thought City would have been able to wrap this one up, but it looks like Ilkay Gundogan is going to be leaving Manchester City. And what does this mean for Man City? Well, it means that they've simply got to get a replacement in. Now, Kovacic looks like he's coming in. Is he a direct replacement for Ilkay Gundogan? Probably not. They're slightly different players. I think Kovacic is probably a little bit more versatile, to be fair to him, in that midfield space. I think maybe he's defensively a little bit more industrious. I think maybe Gundogan's a little bit more flamboyant on the ball and maybe has a little bit more football IQ and a footballing brain, but they can't really directly replace the Gundogan profile with Kovacic. Now, that means a whole host of questions that we'll get onto in just a little bit, but, the main question is, did City try and keep him? Well, of course they did. From what we understand from Bray and Simon Bajkowski, our Manchester City reporters, they did try and keep him. They tried to offer him a deal, but it looks like the deal was too short and Barcelona were offering a longer deal. And subsequently, I should say, that means more security for his family, which is what Ilkay Gundogan will want at this stage of his career. When we're talking about replacements, maybe Kovacic isn't that profile, but when you're talking about box-to-box midfielders, which I feel like maybe Kovacic is a little bit more of a defensive midfielder, someone who's going to break up play a little bit and be able to switch the ball. Gundogan likes to get forward a little bit more box-to-box. So that profile for me is Declan Rice. Declan Rice, Arsenal look to have put a second bid in for him, and apparently, according to Sky Sports and multiple reports, close to the Manchester Evening News as well, City might go in for a bid as well. So rumours are circulating around the England midfielder, but that for me would be a direct replacement really for Ilkay Gundogan in terms of profile. It gives City a lot to work with as well in terms of the age of the player. What I believe Declan Rice is 23, 24, massive age, massive contract, massive wages, presumably if he was to come to Manchester City, and the most important, it's massive potential. So real positives there. The implication on this City squad is it's a leader. It's another leader going, which, when I say another, maybe when you look at Bernardo Silva, potentially Kyle Walker, but it looks like maybe he's working things out with Man City in terms of extending his deal at the club. Gundogan is going to leave a hole, a massive hole, hugely important towards the back end of this season, massively important towards the back end of last season, which a lot of people seem to forget. This season, he has been absolutely astronomical, monumental. So many superlatives can be attached to Ilkay Gundogan this year. There is an argument, and I would probably say he was City's most important player toward the back, the last 10 games, which when you look at his age and you think toward the latter part of the season, he's going to break down a little bit. Maybe he'll get a little bit more tired when it comes to playing week in, week out. He manages himself in such a professional way that Ilkay Gundogan always seems to really, really lift off toward the back end of the season, which is credit to his fitness, subsequently his professionalism and a mindset which is a do or die mindset, and it seems to get City over the line a lot. When we're looking at leaders, when we look at Walker, Mahrez potentially leaving, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan for me, the big one towards the back end of the season was Leeds came to Manchester City and he's got everybody in the huddle and he's cheering the team up. And that was, for me, when the Sky Sports cameras zoned in on him, that was one of those where you think to yourself, oh flipping out, yeah, Gundogan is the leader. They all look to him. And how can you not look to him with everything that he's done at Man City? The first signing under Pep Guardiola. And I think it is one of those which is going to be very, very difficult to replace. I think even if Declan Rice comes in, is he going to be able to fit into this City side the way he fits into that the West Ham side? You look at Jack Grealish coming from Villa to Man City, took time. Rodri coming from Atletico to Man City, took time. Calvin Phillips, his England partner in midfield, Declan Rice's partner in midfield, it took him time, and it's still taking him time. Will he even get to that level? So there's a lot of questions. There is uncertainty now within the ranks. There is maybe problems within the ranks because I don't know if Guardiola would like this churn right now, when they've just got the treble under their belt and they're looking to maybe do the same thing again. Going and defending a treble is something completely different. Going and defending the Champions League is monumental in terms of scale as well. It is defending the Premier League, as City fans know all too well. But having such a churn in the squad in terms of quality, but in terms of experience and leadership as well, when you're looking at maybe 5 players who could move on, Ilkay Gundogan could could be the top of those players in terms of quality, but also in terms of leadership and the focal point to a lot of the younger players, where they go to for advice, etc. So massive churn in the squad with Ilkay Gundogan going, a huge player for Manchester City. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. We're fascinated to hear what you think. We've got loads on the Manchester Evening News. Check out the stories for the 60-second scoop, which is going really well at the minute, which is where we tell you little pieces of news every single day in a little succinct form. Guys, have a good day, and we'll see you soon.